Think about the last time you felt genuinely ahead, savings growing, bills manageable, future feeling possible. Now think about right now. Same job, same hours, same effort, different result. Something changed. And it wasn't you. Here's what actually happened. Every single financial decision you made in the last 10 years was made inside a system built around one thing. Not your well-being, not your future, not your family's security. Oil. The price of oil decides your grocery bill, not the farmer who grew the food, not the store that sold it, the barrel of crude sitting in a market you were never invited to. The price of oil decides your mortgage rate. When oil prices spike, inflation rises. When inflation rises, interest rates rise. When interest rates rise, your monthly payment rises. You never touched oil. You never traded it. You never even thought about it. But it reached into your bank account and took what it needed every single time. The average American family lost $4,200 in real purchasing power between 2021 and 2023. Not through bad investments, not through poor decisions, through a system that moved oil prices and let your savings absorb the damage. You worked for that $4,200, hours of your life, days you will never get back, gone, not to a market crash, not to a recession, to a system so perfectly designed that most people never even realize they were the ones paying for it. 5 reasons how, starting right now. Let me show you something that will change how you look at every receipt you have ever thrown away. You think you pay for groceries? You don't. You pay for groceries, plus the truck that delivered them, plus the fuel that ran the truck, plus the factory that packaged them, plus the plastic that wrapped them, plus the fertilizer that grew them, plus the machine that harvested them. Every single one of those runs on oil, which means every time the people who control oil prices decide to raise them, you pay more for everything without being asked, without being warned, without a single person looking you in the eye and telling you what is actually happening to your money. In 2022, oil prices jumped 60% in 6 months. Not because supply disappeared, not because the world ran out, because the 12 men who sit in a room in Vienna once every few months decided to produce less. 12 men, 1 room, 1 decision, and your grocery bill went up 18% in a single year. Your electricity bill doubled. Your rent increased because your landlord's costs increased. Because everything runs on the same system that those 12 men just made more expensive. You didn't vote for those 12 men. You don't know their names. They will never know yours. But right now, drop a comment. 12? If you had absolutely no idea that 12 people in a room in Vienna have more control over your savings than every financial decision you have ever made in your life. Because most people spend years budgeting, saving, cutting back, working harder, trying to get ahead, while 12 men meet 4 times a year and quietly decide how far behind you stay. Every time inflation spikes, every time your groceries cost more, every time your electricity bill makes your stomach drop, the same people appear on television, serious faces, expensive suits, carefully chosen words. Inflation is complex. Global supply chains are disrupted. We are doing everything we can. And you nod, because what else do? You trust the experts. You tighten your belt. You cut the holiday. You pause the savings. You tell yourself, this is temporary. It was never temporary. Here's what inflation actually is in a world built on oil. When oil gets expensive, every company that uses oil, which is every company, passes that cost directly to you. The trucking company raises prices. The manufacturer raises prices. The retailer raises prices. And at every single step, each one adds a little extra. Not just to cover costs, but to protect their profit margin. So a 10% rise in oil doesn't create 10% inflation. It creates 10%, plus every company's markup on top of that 10%. By the time it reaches your shopping cart, that 10% oil rise has become your 25% grocery bill increase. And while you absorb that 25%, ExxonMobil posted the highest profit in its 152-year history. In 2022, $56 billion in 1 year, the same year you were choosing between heating your home and filling your fridge. They didn't get lucky. They didn't work harder. The system that was making your life harder was making their numbers look better than they had in 152 years. Your struggle was their record quarter. Your belt tightening was their shareholder dividend. Your cancelled holiday was their executive bonus. Same economy, same year, completely different experience. And the most infuriating part is that nobody on that television screen ever connected those two facts in the same sentence. Do you have a savings account? Maybe a 401k, maybe a pension, maybe just a number in a banking app that you check occasionally and feel quietly proud of. That number is not as safe as you think. When oil prices rise, the Federal Reserve raises interest rates to slow inflation. When rates rise, borrowing gets expensive. When borrowing gets expensive, businesses slow down. When businesses slow down, stock markets fall. When markets fall, your 401k falls with them. You never touched oil. You never traded a single barrel. But your retirement just got smaller. Between 2021 and 2022, the average American 401k lost $34,000 in value. Not because people invested badly, because oil got expensive. Inflation rose, rates rose, markets fell, and $34,000 per person quietly disappeared. Multiply that by 60 million Americans with retirement accounts. That's not a statistic. That's early mornings, late nights, missed weekends, decades of sacrifice today for a tomorrow that just got $34,000 smaller. And on the other side of that same year, the 12 men in Vienna didn't lose a single dollar. The oil executives, whose record profits were funded by your rising costs, didn't lose a single dollar. The banks charging you more on every loan didn't lose a single dollar. Only one group lost $34,000. The ones who did everything right, saved consistently, invested carefully, trusted the system to protect what they built. The system had other plans. Subscribe right now, because the final part puts the power back where it actually belongs, in your hands. So now you know, oil doesn't just power cars. It powers the system that decides what your life costs, how much your groceries cost, how much your mortgage costs, how much of your life's work actually stays in your hands. And knowing that changes everything, because systems designed to drain you only work on people who don't understand them. The moment you see the chain, oil rises, inflation rises, rates rise. Markets fall, savings shrink. You stop being surprised. And the moment you stop being surprised, you start being prepared. Prepared looks different for everyone. For some, it means keeping less cash in accounts that inflation quietly eats, and more in assets that rise when inflation does. For some, it means understanding that when oil spikes, energy moves first. And for some, it simply means breaking the habit of trusting a system that was never designed to protect you. The people who built this system own the oil, own the refineries, own the pipelines. They don't worry about inflation because they own the thing causing it. They don't worry about savings shrinking because their wealth isn't sitting in an account, waiting to be eroded. It's sitting in ownership, real, tangible, inflation-proof ownership. And that gap between people who own the system and people the system owns is not closed by working harder. It's closed by understanding how it actually works and making different decisions because of it. We covered Australia last time, a country that looks perfect from the outside, while its people calculate the same negative number at the end of every month. Different place, same game. Whether you're in Sydney or Chicago, the rules are the same. The people winning are winning the same way. The only variable is whether you understand it. You do now. If this channel has been the financial education nobody handed you in school, subscribe for the version of yourself that sees the damage coming before it arrives. See you next week.